because of my white privilege, strangers smiled at me when I walked down the street.
The audacity of this bitch.
I never thought that I had extra privileges. But because of my white privilege, strangers smiled at me when I walked down the street. I would get invited to more places and parties. I felt safe when out and about. I had more opportunities.
So no worries, this won't be a long video at all. What she's trying to do here, she's teaching her faith, her beliefs to children. She's reading a children's book. She's talking about the critical race theory, which is white supremacy, which is the whole leftist ideology where they say this country is founded upon white supremacy and we need to teach everyone this and have them all believe this. And so I just want to sort of put this into perspective for people, especially this little bit at the beginning that I showed. She thinks that when she walked down the street as a child, she thinks that she was smiled at because she was white. Now look, my kids are freaking gorgeous, and just about everyone we come across, they smile and they talk, and I'm the same way. When I see a child, I smile at them. So let's be frank here. She thinks that this child doesn't get smiled at on the street. She thinks that this child doesn't get smiled at on the street. She thinks that this child does not get smiled at on the street because they are not white. So why would they?
And I had a better shot at success. I had all these advantages even though I grew up without a dad, no money, and never really knew what tomorrow would look like.
I found this little baby with all the rolls and in the sink because I used to bathe my babies like this. So I'd rather talk over this than steal of this crazy woman. So let's get into this. What is she really saying here? Because what she's doing and what a lot of these leftists are doing, and they don't even seem to realize it, whether they're coming from good intentions or not, you're coming to the same exact conclusion as someone who believes this for all the wrong reasons. You know, they think they are the supreme people that should be here, and they are on top, and all of this. These beliefs are the same thing that you are telling people is the reality. So let's think about this. Her belief of this, where did that lead her? Do you think that gave her any sort of confidence? I mean, maybe sometimes she would feel a little bit of guilt about it. Oh my God, like I'm getting all these privileges because I'm white. But she still had the confidence she needed, right, to make it in life. And this is a very, very good example, by the way. This is not a Biden situation, somebody that grew up wealthy and with a, silver spoon and all of this stuff, and just believes this sort of thing because they just have no understanding of the outside world, and they were fed all of these stories. So they have all this pity. That's what this is. This is pity. They feel pity for everyone else who is just not as lucky as them. And so they want to help out, right? This is someone that didn't have a dad, that grew up poor, as she said. Grew up poor, but yet she was still walking around thinking that people were smiling at her because of her whiteness. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going in for job interviews? Anything, everything, applying for an apartment, credit cards, whatever you need to do in life, and thinking it'll work out, I'm sure, because I'm white, Or maybe they didn't believe this. It doesn't really matter. Maybe these are paid actors, or maybe they've just founded this new, basically, religion as adults, and they want to push this upon everyone else because it's what they believe. So, why not tell everyone the quote-unquote truth, right? Can you imagine teaching little children that they are going to walk through life and they are not even going to be smiled at because of this little simple thing that has nothing to do with anything? Can you imagine the lack of confidence this will give them, to say the least? but the hatred that this will instill in their hearts as well, towards people that they believe also are doing this to them. I just kind of have a hard time believing these people can be so stupid. How can you not see how terrible this would be for a society? Not just a society, but the people that you're specifically trying to help, quote unquote. How can you not see how terrible this will be for them? I try to think of a comparison of how horrid this is. It would sort of be like teaching pretty privilege to children and letting them know, those of you who weren't so lucky, who weren't so beautiful, who aren't so cute. If you're not told you're cute a lot as a child, you're probably not that cute. And if you're not getting a lot of smiles, you're probably not that pretty. And you're going to have a really rough time at it, People are just, maybe not a rough time, you're just going to have to work for your worth, And people are not just going to hand you things as much as they would a pretty person. What if we taught that to children? Why not? Right? Why not? I mean, that way we can dismantle it, right? We could dismantle it when we could, we have these kids growing up sort of despising these pretty kids, and anytime they don't get a handout or things don't go their way, they can be like, well, it's because I'm ugly. You know what? We won't even have to worry about them trying, because they probably won't even have the self-confidence to try for that new position they saw in the paper, or, you know what I mean? So, oh man, like the stupidity. If you believe in this, you believe in it. Whether you think it's wrong or right, as I said, you believe that white people are supreme, regardless. So you've made this very freaking real. Okay? Like, I don't know how else to explain this. Whether you're white or black, if you believe in white supremacy, you believe there are people that are more supreme than you. And the outcome will ultimately be the same. Whether you believe it because it's wrong, and this is just the way it is, and it sucks, and we got to dismantle it, quote unquote. You're not going to dismantle shit. If you believe that, you're going to get the same outcome as someone who believes it for all the wrong reasons, quote unquote. Division and hate will be the outcome.